Hey there, everybody. Grant here, and today I'm going to be telling you my review of EverZippy. Now, I've had the opportunity to play with this product a little bit in the beta testing, and I like what I see. Now, I'm excited to kind of tell you some of the different features that they highlight, some of the additional features that I thought were hugely beneficial, and kind of the best uses for this. We're obviously going to go over the bonus content available as part of their special launch week, and then, of course, the exclusive bonuses that you're not going to get anywhere other than here. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Now, EverZippy is basically a platform. It's an evergreen platform that's fully automated that is designed for webinars. Now, webinars are so valuable right now for a multitude of reasons. First off, you've got webinar marketing, so getting people educated, getting people in the door, collecting leads, things like that, so that you can drive them towards purchasing a product or a service or something to that effect, or the webinar content itself is valuable enough that you can actually sell the webinar, ideally over and over again, where people are paying. It could be a couple $100 up to a couple thousand for some webinars. In fact, I used to work for a company that we sold an introductory webinar. The webinar just for the introductory information was $130, which is not a ton of money, but then they had a really high conversion rate because they would sell $5,000 add-ons after the fact. So webinars are so huge in that they actually have pretty solid conversion rates, and the percentage of people who attend the webinar who will actually purchase, even if it's a free webinar, is pretty solid in and of itself. So regardless of what kind of business venture you find yourself in, whether you've got a product or service and you want to drive traffic to it, or if you just want to sell webinars, or ideally the best ones do both, EverZippy is hugely beneficial. And we're going to kind of go over why as we progress through this. So what I want to kind of jump into right out of the gate is some of the things that they talk about, how easy it is to use. Like I said, I got a chance to play with this in the beta testing stages, and there's tutorials and whatnot. I obviously went through the tutorials, and before I did that, I wanted to play with it and seeing how intuitive it was, and I found it pretty darn easy to navigate. There were a bunch of features I didn't realize that it had until I went through the tutorials. Again, it does have full-featured host controls. It's got analytics and what have you. You can plug in tracking numbers and whatnot. I'm a numbers guy, so that's important to me. Being able to create the live platform, being able to change how many viewers are visible, kind of thing, the chat features and whatnot. There's so many different things that kind of package this all together that this really streamlines the whole webinar concept. I've done webinars in the past before, and I've made some good money out of them, but they are time consuming to go through all this. I'm excited that this packages it all together for you. So real quick, we're going to talk about some of the highlighted features that they had, and then I want to go into my analysis of the software itself. So you've got your custom branding, where you can actually create your own brands, logos, whatnot, plug it into the system. So regardless of what you're doing, you can actually integrate your stuff. I think that's valuable. I mentioned the tracking and remarketing systems. You can have customized scheduling where you can set something up and have maybe a pre-recorded webinar, and it shows up once a week or once a day or on the 14th and the 18th or whatever at such and such time. So that customized scheduling allows you to kind of mix and match a little bit. You've got a number of ready-to-use templates, a lot of that with even the email marketing and the reminders and things like that. You can change it yourself, but they do have the template available to you. You've got the automated live chat. Now, this is huge. I want to talk about this one for a quick second. When you have a webinar, social proof is obviously hugely beneficial, and you want to make sure that you're giving good information. And oftentimes, if you've ever given a webinar or a speech, there might be questions you want people to ask because it allows you to give that information in a different context. This, you can actually have it pop up with a question or something like that that's automated. You actually created the question from a different user, but it looks like a unique individual. So you can pick and choose, I want this question asked at this point in time so that I can answer it and be able to provide that social proof. So there's that part of it. The other part of it as well is it's a proven fact that we're more inclined to purchase when we're engaged in something. And if no one's asked any questions, maybe there's 10 people who have questions, but nobody asks, I'm not going to be the one to start. But if I've seen 3 or 4 other people ask questions, I'm more inclined, if I'm watching the webinar, to now ask questions to engage. I don't necessarily know that those other ones were not legitimate people. I'm just saying that it's socially acceptable. I engage, my probability of purchasing a product or service or whatnot goes up astronomically. This automated live chat feature is hugely beneficial if used properly from a variety of different angles. You've also got the dynamic attendee numbers. This is great because on average, webinars have about 150 people, depending on the webinar, some less, some considerably more. But if you, especially if you're just getting started out or you're having a slow day, if you've got 3, 4 people on the webinar, they might wonder, is this really worth it? Should I even pay attention and things like that? Because there's only a handful of people who are interested. Even if it's a great webinar, maybe people just couldn't show up or something. This will actually allow you to predetermine how many people appear to be on the webinar. So even if you've got slow turnout out of the gate, again, the social proof, I can go, wow, there's 418 people checking this webinar out right now, live, and it can look like a live webinar, by the way, even if it's pre-recorded. Now I'm more engaged because there must be something to it. So especially if you're starting out, this is a hugely beneficial feature as well. You've also got your email reminders, which I like because I've done webinars, and if you're not on top of it, it's pretty easy for some of that stuff to slip through the cracks in that you go, oh, I forgot to send them a week before or a midweek reminder or whatever. This you can set up a week before reminder. You can set up 3 days before, 24 hours before, an hour before, making sure that people know that that's coming. That it's, oh yeah, I need to get on that webinar, especially if they've already paid for it. They do have, you got product offers, you got live sales alerts, you got waiting room videos, replay comments, record and replay, full featured host controls, analytics and report systems, polls and surveying, registration, tons of different stuff. So what I liked about this is, by the way, click on the link below and it'll take you to this page. I should have mentioned that a second ago. But any of these red buttons here will actually take you to an additional page here where you can access there's a demo video of it. There's a ton of integration points and reviews and what have you. So like I said, any of those red buttons will take you to an additional page with even more information on it. I wanted to talk about my experience going through it. So basically, you can record a video of any kind. It doesn't really matter what the platform is. You can just click and drag that video to load it into the system. And once you do that, you can create obviously a title for your video. You can put up a description for your video. You can put in some placeholders. You can add keywords or whatnot. You can actually take other snippets and kind of combine it all together. But it's just a click and drag and type sort of thing. Incredibly easy to use. Then you can actually have like a registration page where people will put in their information, their email or whatever. So you're actually continually building a list. That's a feature that I don't think that they highlighted enough, is that it's got a list building aspects. It also integrates with your autoresponders, your MailChimp, your SendingBlue, and all those, all that stuff. So you can actually have pre-existing lists or whatnot. If you've got maybe people have purchased from you in the past, you want to be able to market this webinar to them, you can utilize that. Again, it all integrates in seamlessly, but it also integrates in with your payment structure. So your PayPal, your Stripe, things like that. If you're wanting to sell your webinar, which I definitely think you should, you can easily get solid money from selling the webinar itself, not to mention the back end sales if you got an appropriate funnel system. Then you're going to want to be able to have one click where it can actually direct them and pay you directly from that site. So that integrates in directly as well. I don't think they did a good enough job highlighting that feature. In addition to, again, your autoresponder integrations and what have you. And you can, where you're giving your login information or your email and whatnot, you can also have a demo video or a clip or a little snippet so people can kind of capture them. You can anchor in with that as well. So that's another feature that I thought was absolutely fantastic in addition to this. And I've been playing with it the last couple of days, and there's so many things running around in my head that I was excited about that I can't even let you know all of them that are available. So let's touch on some of the different aspects of it here, kind of what the cost is, the personal versus the commercial licensing. The fact that you can also, by the way, record your webinars and make them appear live is so valuable, because you can sell the same webinar over and over and over and over again and direct them to additional webinars. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars easily if you utilize it properly. And the fact that when you get started, again, there's that social proof that starting out is always the hardest, because if you don't have people watching, then you don't have people wanting to watch. So that dynamic audience feature is so hugely beneficial, because you can really capture people's attention. If you already have a list, that's awesome. You can send it out to your list, because on average, they say 1 in 3 people who sign up for a webinar will watch it. More so if they've paid for it, obviously, and you definitely want to make money on it. But if you don't have full attendance, especially out of the gate, you want to make sure you've got that dynamic feature. So I think that's so valuable. Now, they're offering special pricing as part of the launch deal. They've got the personal account and the commercial account. Admittedly, I'm leaning towards the personal account because there aren't a lot of major differences. The biggest one is you have 10 active on-demand webinars and 10 active reoccurring webinars. 10 webinars is quite a bit, especially if you can create it and have custom comments in there and the dynamic people, whatnot. You can actually have them preset certain days so you can pre-sell these and what have you. 10 is a pretty solid number. And if you're wanting to create a boatload of webinars, or maybe you want to create them for other people and get a percentage of the sales through an affiliate system or something like that, then you might want to go with the commercial version because it allows you 100 active instead of just 10. I'm still on the fence a little bit, but I do think that the 10 is going to be fine. But I'm going to play around with the idea because the price point different, it might be worth it just to have it. Because again, these are just active webinars. With both of them, you're going to get the one-click scheduling, the activation from any device. You're going to get the monetizing relay pages, the private encrypted rooms, the public chat features, the no download for joining the webinar stuff. I mean, all that. I mean, you go through this, by the way, just check out some of the slew of features that you're getting available with this. One other thing that I forgot to mention, a feature they didn't talk a whole lot about that I like, is that at any point in time, I can have my webinar and I can preset that a button will pop up that says, buy now or check out more. And I can say I want it up for a minute or 27 seconds or whatnot, where they can actually click on it and it will take them to whatever sales page or whatnot. So that ability to have built into the webinar, you can even have timers and countdown clocks. Again, small, but hugely beneficial if appropriately used. Sorry, a little bit of a tangent. Anyway, I mean, you can see why there's just so many features here. Now, the biggest one, again, that you're going to see the difference in is the number of active webinars you can have. The commercial license is going to be $97 as opposed to $147 per month. It's a one-time charge of $97. The personal one is going to be a one-time charge of $47, which again, if you sell one webinar, even at this price point, you've paid for itself. So to me, it's a no-brainer, especially once that you factor in that they're offering a money-back guarantee, which we're going to talk about in a second. So in the event that you are looking to either market a particular product or service, in fact, I had a friend who used to do webinars talking about increasing your vitality, energy, and decreasing your mortality rate. He sold exercise equipment, but he would do a webinar, and I honestly, I don't remember if he sold the webinar or if he gave it away for free, but at the end of the webinar, throughout the education process, he taught them that 20 minutes a day on the treadmill will do this. And his conversion rate was astronomical because people were engaged in that moment. They were educated, and now they could shop for a treadmill in one click away, and they could start looking at stuff. And guess what? It brought it right to where he was. So regardless of what you sell, now I'm in the coaching industry, which is mega webinar goldmine, which is a whole other thing. But let's talk real quick about the bonuses that they're offering. These are directly through EverZippy. So you've got your X funnels commercial, which is basically highly converting funnels. And a funnel, obviously, if I purchase something, second money is easier to get than first money. So in your webinars, they purchase something, whether it was the webinar itself or a product or whatnot, building a funnel that directs them a certain way and creates additional sales. So the commercial version of that software to help you with that. You've got the marketing, the X Marketer commercial version, which is basically a way to increase your leads. Obviously, you can increase leads through, email lists, social media, remarketing. There's a ton of stuff, but this is just additional ways to create leads so that you can put your webinars in front of more people. Your Traffic Drill, which is managing your social media for you. The Course Maker Pro, basically learning how to create courses. This Coursera, I am not familiar with this. I'm going to flat out say I never looked into it. Udemy, though, I have looked into. I've taken courses on Udemy. I've even created a couple courses. That is actually, out of the gate, it wasn't a ton of money, but I made a couple $100 relatively quickly off that. So this in and of itself was valuable to me. Now, I did it not through this thing. I learned about it a while back. Since I have made a fair bit of money on Udemy, and I continue to. So that in and of itself, I know for a fact is profitable. Coaching profits. Again, the coaching industry is pretty hot right now. Webinars being an education-based marketing system, incredibly valuable. That's why you're getting more and more people marketing themselves as coaches. It's basically how to create high ticket coaching programs, again, that you can sell over and over and over and over again. You've got your Product Maker Pro, being able to create different products that you can sell. So again, if you want to have webinars and you want to have products, this will actually help you to make products that you can sell on your webinar. How fancy that. So again, a huge package as far as the ability to make this money. Audacity Pro, which is basically audio editing software. When I made my first set of CDs a while back that I marketed and what have you, I actually used Audacity Pro. It was probably an older version, but I still used it originally for my audio needs and what have you. So if you're making these videos and whatnot, it's again a great tool. You've got, of course, the money back guarantee. I am an advocate of people who will stand behind their products. So the fact that they offer this, if you don't like it, you're not making your money, it doesn't make sense to you. I don't think that's going to be the case because I'm not super tech savvy and I still figured it out pretty easily. It's just available there for you. I love that it's got again your follow-up systems and all that. I think this is so huge, so huge. And if you want to build a successful business, there are other ways to do it. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to pay for them. Creating webinars can get pricey quick, and then the marketing, the rebranding, the sales components, all of that factored in. It just there's a lot that goes into it. So let's talk about the exclusive bonuses. These are ones I've put together specifically for EverZippy. As I was playing with it, I was kind of going through my bonus library, figuring out, okay, what makes sense, what's going to capitalize and work the best with this. So the first one that I threw in here is your web video for business. It's using video for high conversions and traffic. Obviously, you're going to want to create these webinars, so you're going to want to know how to do videos more or less. So this has got that, so you're converting and you've got high traffic and whatnot. This is an absolute no-brainer to go in with this. The second one is best marketing strategies, which is advanced marketing for big time results. Again, you need to get your stuff out there. If you want to sell your webinar for $200 a pop or whatever the case may be, you need to get it in front of more people. You need to be able to market it so that you can, and then by the way, once you've got the webinar, it's getting the additional sales off that. I knew one guy, he was showing me on one webinar he made. The webinar itself wasn't all that expensive, but he averaged like $2,400 per sale. And he had quite a few sales because of his funnels and his marketing strategies. Brilliant stuff. Anyway, on the thread of pricing, I also wanted to factor in the expand your sales, which is discover the ultimate pricing techniques for amplified sales. There is a psychology behind pricing, and it's not necessarily the lowest price wins. In fact, when I first started coaching, I was struggling to with my client base. I doubled my prices and I doubled my client base, which if you do the math is 4 times the amount of money virtually overnight, because I didn't understand pricing structure and the psychology behind it. So expand your sales, knowing how to price your webinar, how to discount it, or create perceived value, perceived discounts for your webinar itself or your product, service, whatever the case may be. This is an absolute must for that conversion aspect of everything. This one, so beneficial. This is actually a training. It's a little over 2 hours long. You can kind of access it at your own leisure. Creating profitable webinars, how to create powerful and profitable webinars that actually convert. Wow, what a novel concept. EverZippy is phenomenal for putting the webinar together, for sending you the reminders, for building the social proof, for all of that stuff, but you have to have the webinar itself. So I want to make sure that you've created webinars that are profitable, you understand how to build them, how to convert, what makes money. So I'm offering this training as your guide. Again, totally free to you so that you've got the know-how to do this. The fifth bonus I wanted to factor into this is the content marketing blueprint. Content marketing is probably one of the most valuable types of marketing out there. It's basically utilizing the information to drive people to a particular action. And the amount of people who don't understand this or think they do and have no clue, it blows my mind. I do life coaching and business consulting. Content marketing is so huge. It's huge, but it's done wrong all the time. So this is a basic blueprint so that as you're creating your webinars, you're using appropriate content to drive to the webinar, but also the content in the webinar drives people to take the action that you want to take. So again, wouldn't you love it that you could actually sell? People will pay money to hear you give them a reason to spend more money. That's every person's dream. Like, people spend a fortune just so they can pitch someone a product or a service. They spend their money, like I would spend my money, so that you will listen to me so I can try to sell you something. With webinars, you gave me money so that you can listen to me show you an opportunity to buy something. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. And appropriate webinars are good for everybody. They have the right content and everything, but you need to understand how it all works. That's where the content marketing bonus comes into play. So, who is this really for? I mean, if you're a coach or you've got any kind of coaching or consulting business, especially, or any kind of education based business, this is an absolute must because webinars are a huge gold mine. If you have any business that requires marketing, so any business, this in and of itself is actually makes perfect sense. And honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I think I might. I professional version or the personal version is probably fine for most people. I'm already thinking I might go to the professional version because I have multiple businesses and I'm thinking about going back to webinars for my coaching business. But man, I'm already thinking for my online courses, for my real estate, for my the automotive industry stuff I have. There are my speaking engagements. I need to create webinars for all this. So I might end up making more than 10 because I have so many business ventures. If you've got more than one business venture, maybe you look at the professional version. Either way, though, even if you start out with the personal, if you end up needing to go from 10 to 100, it's because you've made so much money. It doesn't really matter. But it's whatever makes sense to you. Now, the beautiful thing is you really are risk-free with the money-back guarantee. Click on any of these red buttons. Like I said, it'll take you to this page where you can just go ahead and there's a demo. The demo, in my opinion, doesn't really do it justice. They touch on some stuff, but it's not as clean as it could be, which to me spoke volumes because I watched the demo. I understood the concept. I thought this looks pretty cool. When I got in and started utilizing the beta, and by the way, they've been telling me that they're adding more to it, so that is exciting to me. Because again, I was in the beta version. I immediately started seeing the value in it. So there's a ton of different stats in here as well. 72% of people leave live webinars due to bad internet connection. 30% of hosts tend to neglect the chat because they get caught up in the presentation and forget to answer the attendees' questions. So you can already have that stuff built in to take care of those problems. 47% of companies prefer evergreen webinars over live webinars as they are recorded and played many times to generate recurring income. Every webinar I ever did, when I got smart, I recorded it and sold it over and over again because then I didn't have to be in the webinar. I could do it once, sell it forever. That's what this will allow you to do. So you can see how that's hugely beneficial. 16% of people like webinars to be scheduled at noon. So again, there's just some interesting stats and whatnot in there. There are a ton of reviews as well. So like I said, click on that, check out this additional information. With the money back guarantee and the money that I've personally made from webinars in the past, it's a no-brainer. I'm super excited. This goes live September 2nd, so I can jump into the live version from the beta version and start to play around with it, start to monetize it immediately. But again, knowing full well that it's a money back guarantee, I know that I'm not going to be returning it because I've already had a chance to play with it. I don't think you are either, because if you want to have your own business, this is you could even start this as a side hustle and make fantastic money. So I hope that you see the value in this and you take advantage of it, and realizing that the bonuses I'm offering here are designed and tailored specifically for you and this product because it just makes perfect sense. You're only going to get those if you click the link below, click any of these red buttons, and then you can follow it through to the sales process. So if you want to take advantage of these and you want to have the full set of tools, go that route. Now, if you're interested in this product or you are interested in products that are meant to enhance business opportunities or even create brand new business opportunities, this kind of does both. Or you're just looking to create passive income, generate wealth, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you get notifications. Sometimes we do just money videos in general. Sometimes we talk about products that I've had the opportunity to play with. But in any event, make sure you check that out. I'd like to hear back from you. Click the like video, leave a comment, tell me what you think and what questions you might have. But this is really a fantastic opportunity. And I hope I'm articulating how exciting this is as far as the product goes and how I really think it's a great opportunity. This is awesome. So in any event, if it's for you or not, make sure you subscribe and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.